Today, we are going to talk about the most important activity for any working professional. If you are working in any organization, meetings are part and parcel of your life. How do you stand out in meeting? Meeting is not only about discussing a particular topic in PowerPoint presentation or any discussion, but it is an activity, it is a place where you can show your skill, knowledge, expertise, and how do you stand out in the meeting? How do you leave that mark, leave that impression so that people feel that you are way ahead than others without being bossy or without overstepping somebody else. But before I start, let me share a very small, my personal story. My daughter had come to my office and she was on family day, like it happens in any organization. And she was there for 2 hours. When she went back home, she told her mom that, "Mom, do you know what Papa does in office? Papa does 2 things in office. 1, he sends emails, and 2, he does meetings." While kids are innocent and they take things very, very innocently, but if you are a working professional, meetings are part and parcel of your life. And if you want to be successful, it is extremely important for you to prove your mental at the time of meeting. So what should you do? Let's begin. The first tip is come prepared. If the topic of the meeting is about, say, customer retention, you should go through the presentation if the presentation had been circulated in advance. Even if it has not been circulated, try to study about customer retention. What is the problem your organization is facing? What is the problem which is being tried to address in that meeting? So coming prepared is extremely important. You should not come to the meeting, okay, let's start the meeting. What this meeting is all about. It shows that you are not very serious, you are not prepared, you are casual as a professional, as a team member. And it leaves a very, very loose, lazy and casual impression about you. Clarification, contribution and question. These are 3 mantras which you should keep in mind when you are going for any meetings. You don't know everything. So if something is being presented in the PowerPoint presentation or something is being told by your colleague, you ask for clarification if you don't know. The second is you need to talk about contribution. When you have done the research, you can talk about, I studied about customer retention and we are doing wonderful job. Why? I have few ideas, and these are 2 things which I want to share as far as customer retention is concerned, which might be useful to the team, which might be useful to our organization. And the third is questions. You must ask intelligent questions. Customer retention has increased by 20%. Are we looking at increasing it by 30%? What are the steps which we are trying to do to achieve the customer retention to 30%? So clarification, contribution and questions are the key to make lasting impression in any meeting. The second tip to shine in any meeting is speak early. For example, any meeting will last for about 60 minutes or 90 minutes, some are shorter meeting. When you are going for meeting, you need to speak within the first 5 minutes. For example, I'm really impressed by this topic, and when I was coming for this meeting, I did some research and read this article, and here are 2-3 views which I wanted to share. Speaking within 5 minutes of the meeting, it will ensure that you have the presence, you have the impact. You must avoid, I have seen many people who come to the meeting and sit through the meeting and wait for the meeting to end. And when everybody has spoken, when all the presentation are over, in the last 5 minutes, they start speaking. When everybody has finished, chances are that most of the point has been made. You are late. It also shows that you are summarizing everybody, which does not go very positively with other team members. So speaking in the first 5 minutes about the meeting, about positive contribution of 2-3 points is crucial, and which will not only ensure that your presence is felt, but you are able to take early mover advantage and you are able to make those points which probably others would make after some time. The third point to shine in any meeting is listen actively and contribute to other ideas. For example, if your colleague Ramesh is talking about some point, make notes and then add to that point if you have a point of view. Not necessarily you have to contribute to everyone's point of view, but if you have a point of view, you must appreciate Ramesh has made a beautiful point and we must consider this point. And I was looking through this article, or in this organization, I have seen that this point can be taken forward. So you are appreciating your colleague's idea, which will ensure that you have the acceptability within the team, not only in that meeting, and you are building on that idea. You must avoid interrupting somebody or trying to show it's a bad idea, this will not work. You must also avoid multitasking during the meeting. I have seen many people who feels that meeting is a beautiful place to clear all the mails. Meeting is a beautiful place to check WhatsApp notifications. Avoid multitasking. Appreciate what others are saying and build on that to contribute to that idea, to ensure that you are not only being seen as a good colleague, but your acceptability will also improve at the end of the meeting. Ask insightful questions with an objective to contribute and not to show your knowledge. It is extremely important. I have seen in meetings or even in seminar and workshop, people go there to show their knowledge. That leaves a very, very bad impression. You must go in a meeting with an objective to learn and contribute and not to show your knowledge. For example, if you are not sure of any point, you can ask for clarification what this KRA stands for if you don't know what is the full form of the KRA, and then you can probably contribute more. Avoid asking irrelevant questions. Okay, what this KRA stands for, this is a bullshit idea or this is a bekar idea. Offer solution, not just problems. I have seen many meetings, people go there to say problem, this will not work, or this timeline are too tight. If you are stating a problem with any of the topic in the meeting, you should also have 2-3 solutions. You are a solution oriented person and you are not focusing on the problem. You are visualizing the problem, at the same time you are also proposing the solution. For example, if you are saying the timelines are too tight, you can mention the timeline looks little difficult to achieve. What about extending it by 15 days? What about adding more team members? What about looking for collaboration from other team members? So you are offering 2-3 solutions. So whenever in the meeting you are mentioning about any problem, along with the problem also mention 2-3 solutions. The 6th point to stand out in any meeting is stay relevant. Don't go out of the topic. There are many people who comes in the meeting, one topic is being discussed and he'll get into different topics. He'll get into topics of his interest, of his strengths. That's a bad idea. Stay relevant to the topic. For example, you can ask that the point which we are discussing about customer retention, how it is aligned to organizational goal. We had 20% customer retention last year. Are we looking at 40%, 50%? Stay in that topic. Don't say that I have seen in my previous organization 20% customer retention is very good, 40% wouldn't work. So stop referring to previous organizations, stop referring to the topics which is not aligned to the goal of that meeting. Support your point with data. For example, if you are making a point that customer retention from 20% to 40% is a stiff target, you need to give certain data point. For example, you can say that before coming to this meeting, I was doing a research, and since we are in FMCG sector, the largest organization in the country has a customer retention of 30%. So instead of a goal of 40%, let's look at a goal of 35%. So you are backing your point with certain data, which will have more acceptability. The last 2 points which I'm going to share about, once the meeting has been over, if you have called the meeting, or if you are part of the meeting, or if you are accountable for certain actions in that meeting, then you must send a follow-up mail with the point which has been discussed with clear-cut responsibility. You can use RACI metrics where you can mention the responsible person, accountable person, whom need to be consulted and who need to be informed, and what is the timeline. So clear-cut minutes of the meeting needs to be shared so that everybody knows what is expected out of every person, and you are able to control the outcome of the meeting. And the final point is follow-up. Nothing will happen automatically. People have priorities. Your goal, your meeting agenda may not be priority item for somebody else. So it is extremely important for you that you follow up after 7 days or 15 days, whatever time is comfortable. When you are following up, do not just mention that refer this meeting what happened to the point which was discussed. Rather, recap about the meeting in 2 lines and then ask for input on the agenda or the point where you are seeking their insights. So sending a follow-up meeting is extremely important. So these are tips. If you practice in any of the meeting, you will not only show your knowledge, your expertise, but you will stand out and create that impression. Remember, meetings are an integral part of our lives in every organization, and it is a place to show that you are better than others. And if you do these 9 steps, I'm sure you are going to make that great impact and you are going to stand out than your colleagues. I wish you all the best. I hope you liked the video, and I will see you in the next video.